are remembering Hurricane Katrina on today's 10th anniversary. While the city of New Orleans has come a long way since that devastating storm, more work is needed to restore neighborhoods. Meteorologist Ben Gelber talked to Ohio State students who recently completed a volunteer project in St. Bernard Parish. Ben?
Candace, and it was on this day, August 29, 2005, Hurricane Katrina had weakened from a Category 5 to a Category 3 hurricane, but still packed 145-mile-per-hour winds as it slammed into the coast of southeast Louisiana and Mississippi.
And it's weird to think that where you slept was actually in 20 feet of water.
A group of Ohio State students from the Meteorology Club recently visited New Orleans as part of the St. Bernard Parish project to help storm victims reclaim their lives in the wake of the devastation caused by Hurricane Katrina.
They are helping people rebuild their houses after 10 years of not having a house.
We actually made recycling bins for all the sites. The second house, we did mold remediation.
Senior Rebecca Miller said mold had to be stripped from the plumbing. Then, after the drywall was complete, primer and fresh paint went on the walls. The students met folks who had lost everything when the levees failed, leaving 80% of the city underwater.
Holding on to her family was all she had, and then she got this new home, and it was just, that was one of the most touching moments.
There are still disturbing reminders of the loss of more than 1,800 people who had lived in this thriving city straddling sea level and the Mississippi River.
The fact that it was 10 years later and you could still drive around and see exactly where it hit. You could still see like the water lines on the houses and the spray paint like X's and different symbols of like where they found the bodies or if the house was clean. We heard a lot of stories of insurance scams, which it's like these people are already at their lowest and people are still going after them to get money for personal gain. I think that was probably the hardest part for me.
The historic storm surge along the Mississippi coast reached 28 feet. If that much water flowed onto the field at Ohio Stadium, it would reach the 15th row of A deck. But the most valuable lesson was that science should never overshadow the real story of a storm.
We learn what conditions make the storms happen, and we study how that impacts the environment, but not really how that impacts people.
Now, the students told me that what they saw left such a deep impression, they've promised to continue to raise funds for the St. Bernard Project, that parish, through the OSU Meteorology Club. Now,